If you want some practical, real life, everyday wisdom, common sense, you need to go to the scriptures, and especially to the book of Proverbs. If you and I would just simply study this book, we would be so much wiser in our interpersonal relationships. There's so much here for us. And one of the things that we learn as we study the scriptures is to identify, and of course the warning against, being a gossip. It says in Proverbs 11 verse 13, a talebearer. That's what the Bible calls it, a talebearer. What is that? Well, a tale is not like a tail on a dog. It's a story, a tale that you might tell, T-A-L-E, that you might T-E-L-L. And then a bearer, someone who carries it. So what does the tale bearer do? Well, they carry a story from one person to the next. And it says, a talebearer revealeth secrets. You see, that's what the talebearer really likes, is that juicy bit of information, that secret, that character damaging, reputation damaging secret. That's what they want. They want some little something. One of their favorite things to share is something that someone has said in private about someone else. And then they run to that person and say, guess what so-and-so said about you? And so he tells us that a talebearer revealeth secrets, but he that is of a faithful spirit concealeth the matter. So these are opposites. The man who's of a faithful spirit, he hears you say something, he knows it's character damaging, but he just lets it die with him. He keeps it. Either he says, hey, you ought not talk about old so-and-so like that, or he doesn't say anything, he just keeps it to himself, and then he turns it into a prayer as he prays for that person to the Lord. If we take a look at chapter 20 and verse 19, the Bible tells us, he that goeth about as a talebearer revealeth secrets, therefore meddle not with him that flattereth with his lips. This helps us to identify the talebearer, and it's the person who is the flatterer. You know this person. They come to you and they're slapping you on the back. They're grinning from ear to ear. They're telling you all this wonderful things about yourself, things that you want to hear. Things when they give you, they're ready to do your eulogy at your funeral. They're just singing your praises. Well, why are they doing that? Because they're trying to gain your confidence so you'll tell them something that they can then bear to somebody else. Beware of the flatterer. Beware of the talebearer. And always know this. If they talk about somebody to you, they will talk about you to somebody else. It's a given. This person is addicted to the brokerage of information, and they use it to tear down, and so they build you up so that they can get your confidence. Then they take something that you've said and they bear it to somebody else so that it can tear you down. Almost never will the talebearer bring a good story about you to someone else. They're always bringing something that's damaging to you. Leviticus 19:16, thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. God in his word tells us, first of all, don't be this person, this gossip. But secondly, he lays out for us how we can identify it. And I think that's really important, that we can see this and learn to be the kind of person that if you need to talk about somebody, make sure you're talking to that person. And if you're gonna tell a story about somebody, tell a good one. And if you've got some character damaging stuff about somebody, just turn it into prayer and maybe confront that person with it, but don't tell anybody else. Jesus wants for us to be faithful in our relationships, and this is one area where we can all learn a lot. God bless you. Have a great day.